I've made, more than $1 million from 2016 till now.
But you got started and you lost 70% of your account.
The reason I did, by the way, is because I didn't have a strategy. I just acted on emotion. So I would take the same type of actions as you would if you were learning anything in life. Like if you were learning how to drive a car. It's not like the first step is to go in the car and drive. It's actually taking driving lessons and figure out how to do it. If you look back in history, it's always been a new all-time high. I mean, Bitcoin's gone from 30 cents to over 100,000, maybe more, But if you start now, then you will have the knowledge to know what to do when the greatest time is. I haven't met or listened to a single trader and investor that haven't really lost, or entrepreneur for that matter, because that is the learning curve. So yes, I am a living example that starting small works. If you just invest £400 a month and over 20 years, you can turn that amount of money into...
I get messages all the time asking me how I went from 100,000 in bad debt to a $13 million portfolio. By watching this show every week, I will share exactly how I did it, how I achieved it, and the lessons that I've learned along the way. So do me a favor and please subscribe to our channel. It's simple, it's free, and it helps keep the show going for you. This is where you eat and we talk about changing the way that you think about money, with insights from successful investors, entrepreneurs, and everyday people taking control of their financial futures. So double check that you're subscribed, and thank you for being part of this journey. Welcome everybody to the Lunchtime Investor Show, and I have somebody very, very special here all the way from Sweden. It is Dennis Salstrom. Welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. We are going to be talking about something really amazing. While you eat, we talk, which is the 3 reasons why now is the time to start investing. And it's not time to procrastinate. Okay. So we're going to be talking about why do most people wait? Why don't they take action, Dennis, even when they know that they shouldn't? So we're going to talk about the psychology of I'll start next day, the mañana, the next day, next week, etc.
Yeah.
How comfort really kills growth, big time. Staying in this comfort zone. And why action, even imperfect action, I love that, imperfect action, beats hesitation. Okay, so, and then we're going to be talking about what's happening in crypto as well. But I've got a question for you, Dennis. Is waiting ever the smart move? Or is it really just like kind of fear, but in disguise? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's never the smart move to wait. Like you said, I think always continuous grow, continuously taking actions would be, of course, good to take the right kind of actions, but small ones. But no, I think waiting is never the right thing to do. Never. I think getting started is always the right thing.
But you got started and you lost 70% of your account. Now, I'm sure that people don't want to do that. So is starting really the smart move?
Yeah, but it could be starting doesn't mean start investing. It might mean start learning about it. But I think start taking step forward, I think, is the main thing. So, but that being said, I mean, no, I wouldn't encourage anyone to lose all their money. And the reason I did, by the way, is because I didn't have a strategy. I just acted on emotion. So I did take action, but I took the wrong kind of actions. So I would take the same type of actions as you would if you were learning anything in life. Like if you were learning how to drive a car. It's not like the first step is to go in the car and drive. It's actually taking driving lessons and figure out how to do it.
That's true.
The same in trading and investing.
Yeah, that is true. But is there ever the right time to start? Like waiting? Is there ever the perfect time? Maybe Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas is, when you eat a lot, it's good. It's a great time. You're very composed. But no, I don't think so. I mean, I think for me at least, if you look back in history, it's always been a new all-time high. I mean, Bitcoin's gone from 30 cents to over 100,000, maybe more, eventually, maybe over $1 million eventually. But if you start now, then you will have the knowledge to know what to do when the greatest time is. Because if we are in the middle of the bear market and you're starting then, you have a learning curve, right? So I think it's gonna be too late by the time you learn in that sense.
That is true, actually. Some people, they say, okay, I'm not ready yet, so let me do later, or now's not the right time, or the market's too high, or whatever, and then they start learning. But you're saying learn now so that you are ready when it's the right time.
And that's it. So you learn what to do. Absolutely.
That's really smart. So most people don't fail because they made bad investments. They fail because they never made one at all. What would you say about that?
Well, I haven't met or listened to a single trader and investor that haven't really lost, or entrepreneur for that matter, that lost companies, businesses, millions, hundreds of thousands because that is the learning curve. You could not do any mistakes your whole life, but you're not gonna get anywhere either. So I think
Be prepared to lose.
yeah, well, yeah, but also you don't need to lose it all, right? In a way, you will make some small mistakes, but make them small. I mean, now we just had a few days ago, the crypto market crashed, and I listened to a trader. He said, well, in COVID, he lost 350 bitcoins because he was over leveraged, even though it
He
was
lost 350. I just worked that out.
yeah.
At the current price, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but he has had 2 or 3 leverage, but when the market went down 50% in one day, it doesn't matter. You get wiped out. Similar to happen now. So I think there's lessons and everything. As long as you learn from the lessons, there's always more money to be had and more money to be found.
Yeah, whatever that is,
Yeah.
whether it's cryptos, because when we talk about cryptos, I think
Yeah.
people are like, oh, it's too much. Let's hear about what Martin Lewis's take is
Yeah.
on investing over saver. We're going to play this video and let's take some notes at the same time.
Ultimately, if you're 22 and you're going to be investing money for 20 years, the very substantial probability is if you put it in a wide spread of global assets, putting it in the stock market will smack the pants off putting it in savings. So currently you can put £20,000 per tax year. So it's a lot of money, £20,000 each tax year into an individual savings account. And that can be 20,000 in cash, which are savings, 20,000 investments, which are stocks and shares, or a combination of both. The overall limit, she has said, will stay at £20,000, but the strongly suspected rumour is that means she's going to drop the amount that you can put into cash ISAs, into savings. The reason for doing this, we're being told, is not to raise tax revenue, they're very strong on that, is to try and encourage more young people to invest for their future, which is actually a good thing that they should be doing.
Wow. I mean, if that is absolutely true, then I think that's great, because we should be encouraging more young people to invest in the future. I mean, look at Taylor, for example. It's just incredible, isn't it?
It is, but I mean, sorry, if I understand this correctly, they're going to lower the barrier, so it's not going to be 20,000 anymore. It's going to be less you can put in.
No, this is so what they're saying is they're doing something for the savings ISA. That's going to be less, but not the actual stocks and shares.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
No, that would be great.
So he says we can smash the pants, right? So investing smashes the pants off savings.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more.
100% more?
Invest? At least, no. So, I mean, let's say an average. He said also distribute in global assets, etc. Let's say you make, 8% a year, maybe.
Well, it's been doing a lot more than that.
Yeah,
the last few years, it's been the last 15 years, it's been closer to 10%.
Yeah. Let's say 10% for the sake of it, right? It's gonna be astronomical, the difference. We are talking about millions in difference in how much you make. I think
between savings, where you might get in a bank, 2.5%, 3%.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
But people are probably listening to this and going, "But I don't know what to do, Dennis."
Yeah, but it can be as simple as because I suppose everyone is looking at this. And most you do have pension, right? That you invest in a pension each month, and no matter what the price is, you put the money in the pension, right? And hopefully in 60 years, you're going to have some money there.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, right?
That sounds like not a great strategy, and hopefully.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you mean in a pension with somebody else doing it for you? You mean?
Yeah, I suppose that's what most people do, right?
Yeah.
But what you can do as well is do the same thing, but just you do it yourself. So you need to get a little bit of education, but it couldn't be as easy as if you invest in an index fund. I mean, we're in UK, so maybe the UK 100. So it's a basket of shares, and it could also be a basket of different kinds of assets, also like gold, etc. But let's say you do it on the 100 biggest companies in the UK, which would be an index you buy. So you buy into one asset, but in terms of doing that, you're getting exposure to 100 different ones, the 100 biggest in the UK. Or if you do it in the US, you can get exposure to the 30 biggest companies in the US. Among those, Google, Meta, that's the Dow Jones. So if you do that, you know it's going to increase by 10% a year. And yes, sure, some years it will go down, some up. That's an average. But if you do that for 20 years, I mean, I've done some calculations. If you just invest £400 a month, it's not a lot. I mean, more people spend more of that going out 2 evenings a month, right? And that's pleasure money. But here, if they invest into the future, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's around 5,000 a year, right? To keep it simple. And over 20 years, you can turn that amount of money into hundreds of thousands, if not even millions, if you invest it.
And this, if you wrap it up, he's saying if you put that kind of money into an ISA, an individual savings account, that would be tax-free.
Exactly. And the best part, you know what the best part is?
What's the best part?
Do you want to know?
Okay, yes.
It is that only will take you like half an hour a month.
Why would it take anything? Because you're saying put it
Oh yeah, you can
into
actually do it automatically.
automatic
Sorry,
basket of shares.
scratch that. It's actually no time.
Right, it's
So,
no
yeah.
time. Automated. You can
Yeah,
automate
it's
it.
automated.
Although I wouldn't do that. I would put more in when it comes down.
Yeah, absolutely. I would too, right? But for someone that I don't know what to do kind of person,
fine.
this is a great place to start. And
That's the first step.
that's step number one. Then you see it's growing, like, oh, I might want to put some more time in. And that's when it becomes more and more interesting.
I absolutely agree. But not doing anything. Wow, wow, wow. So putting money into stocks will nearly always beat savings then. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Over a
we-
certain period of time.
we don't know, but historically, yes, from the inception of when the stock market was created, or any asset, yes. The worst place that has been proven is to keep it in dollars or into fiat.
And do you think that most people know that they can put 20,000 tax-free into an ISA? And by the way, that's up to. People get shocked by 20,000 because when April comes along, it's like, oh, 20,000. Where am I supposed to buy 20,000 for? But you can do it on a monthly basis. And also, you can just start off with 100. You can start off with whatever, but do it regularly. But it's great, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I think that's absolutely incredible. But no, I mean, in school, you learn, is it called Pythagoras set? I don't know what it's called. Pythagoras.
See, you don't even know what it is.
It's all these mathematical
I think you
stuff.
made your point there.
Yeah, no one knows what it is. I don't know what it is. I never used it.
Well, that was obvious.
But I haven't learned, really. Okay.
Pythagoras' theory, by the way.
Yeah, that's the one. It's different in Swedish, but it's close.
True.
Obviously. But the thing is, right, that you learn those things, but you don't learn how to pay a bill. You don't learn that there's an ISA. You don't learn that you should save money. What you do learn, on the other hand, is that you should spend your money. You should buy the latest pair of shoes, the latest phone. You, of course, have to get a really expensive car that loses half of the value when it rolls out the door. But putting them in investments, oh, that's dangerous, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know it's not half.
No, it's not half. But you were making a point. Okay, so I don't know whether we can show this, but this is by somebody. I never know the name, right? I, a male of 25, have a massive fear of investing. Interesting. I feel like I'm working really hard, so I can't understand the idea of risking my money. See, that's it. Instead of focusing on what you can do, he's focusing on the risk, which isn't a bad thing. Because risk for a chance to earn an 8% return. Or you should be able to make more than that, really, with strategies.
Yeah, but if he does what we discussed before, then maybe 8% might be reasonable.
Over time. Yeah. Whereas I can get half of that easily from a savings account without any risk. Well, comparative, there's always risk. Anything you want to add there? I'll go on to the second part.
I don't know where he's getting 8% from a savings account, but let's imagine he does.
No, he's saying I can get half of that easily.
Oh, half of that.
So he's saying, why bother? This is interesting. If this is how people think, we need to know. So he's saying, well, listen, I can get 8%, but I can get half of that by doing nothing at all and not risking anything.
Yeah, I get it.
But the difference between 4 and 8% is so massive over time. That's what he's forgetting. It's so massive over time.
Yeah.
So, this is interesting. He earns 50,000. So he's for 25. He's earning what? I earn about 50,000, and I save around 1,200 every month towards long-term goals, mortgage, retirement, classic, absolute classic, and £400 towards shorter-term goals, whatever they are. What is that? I understand.
Could be buying a car.
Well, it might be. So basically, yeah. I understand that investing that amount might generate larger returns, but I'm not comfortable taking the risk, although I have a 6-month emergency fund. Good. Oh my goodness, he has a 6-month emergency fund.
That's more than most.
Which is a lot more than most, which is amazing. I can tell that this person is a safety person.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a saver. Any tips on how to overcome my fear of investment?
Yeah, it's very simple. It's not easy, but simple. But the simple way to do it is, and you told me this, right? You told me that fear is because you don't know something.
You were saying knowledge overcomes fear.
Always.
That's a direct quote from T. Harv Eker. Knowledge overcomes fear.
Yeah, so this is the problem here. Of course, when you're reading the newspaper, you're talking to all your friends that no one knows what to do and how to do it, then yes, I would agree. And that's why people are fearful of it. But you just need to learn how to do it the same way as you need to learn how to drive. So yeah, getting the right knowledge. We both know it's not risky if you know what you're doing. It might be boring, which we know it is, because you wait most of the time. But it will. I mean, everything is driven by data. So I can give some certainty right now and overcome this fear in a few sentences. So if we look back at Apple as an example, it's literally one of the biggest companies on the planet. They are making billions in profit. They have cash that would be enough for a whole planet. And they are literally on average going down. In the last 10 years, they've gone down around 40%.
What do you mean gone down? They've gone down on average 40% per year? What do you mean?
Yeah, so the chart, if you look at the price of the graph, right? If you look at the price of the stock, of the share price, that's gone down on average when the market falls around 40%.
Oh, I see. So you're saying
Yeah.
it goes up, but several times a year it goes down by 40%?
Might be one a year, maybe sometimes every other year, sometimes
Really?
2 times a year, but when it does. So if you know these stats, that is what's happening, then you can expect things like that happening as well. And I think as well that if we look at, for example, also then including a strategy which is missing, which can be as simple as we do, that on the way down you have exact levels that you buy and then exact levels where you take profits, it doesn't become a guessing game anymore. It actually becomes somewhat of a science.
Okay. Why do you think that somebody like this is okay driving and risking their life,
Yeah.
but not okay putting money into an investment
I think it's environment.
environment?
Yeah, 100%.
Their
Everyone's
environment.
driving their environment, exactly. So if you wanna, yeah, exactly.
You mean
Environment.
because all their friends are driving, so you must be okay to driving, but not all their friends are investing, so it's fear.
Exactly. So what I do, I ask on every single. I must have asked thousands of people. I have it as my thing on every workshop, right, and every webinar I do. That I ask people, how many of your 10 closest friends uses a proven strategy, using a trading diary, knows what they're doing, has done a course, and the number is between 0 and 1, with occasionally someone has a few more friends. But if that's the case, if you're surrounding yourself with 10 people, your closest friends and family, have no clue what they're doing, how on earth are you going to learn how to do it as well? So I think environment.
So what do you think about his statement about I can make 8%? And it's interesting that he agrees that you could make 8%, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
The average.
But
yeah.
by doing, but it's much safer to just make half of that. I think it's less than half, to be honest. I think it's more like 2.5% and 3%. So I don't think his stats are quite right. By just leaving it in the bank.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I mean, the way I think it's okay is depends on the goals you have. So if you're happy with living paycheck, I mean, he has done a very well saving, but if you're happy not having too much money,
Ooh, that's probably why.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's why he has a 6-month blanket. He earns for 25. He earns 50,000. So he feels he's safe. Why would I have to? I've got all this money coming in.
That's it. So it does depend, if you want to work for the majority of your life and you okay not having too much money, it's an okay strategy. But if you do want to have more, you need to do something different, which will then imply that you need to be able to make more with the money you have. So it depends on your goals, I would say. Personally, I would not be happy with 4% because I know how to make even more.
But there's something else, and I get your point there. But there's something else which he's definitely missing, and I want to add to what you said, which is, what if something happens?
Yeah.
What if he loses his job? Oh, I'll never lose my job. That's what every person who lost their job thought. I'll never lose my job. It always happens to somebody else until it happens to you. So he's safe for now, but he's not really building it up.
No, exactly. And you never know what's going to happen. You're very true. And maybe in 5 years, what happens is there's a scam and he loses all his savings. Who knows, right? So I agree. That's where we're so strong on. We want to build several pillars. You have income, maybe you have business, maybe you have stocks and shares, trading and investing, maybe you have cryptos, maybe you have properties. So the more income you can make, the better. And yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, there's a risk. And the other risk is we don't know what's going to happen with fiat money as well.
Right.
Because
The devaluation.
the
of the money.
devaluation, exactly. Everything is becoming so much more expensive. My wife,
So you're talking about inflation as well.
inflation, debasement, all of those things, and which makes sure we don't have enough money. Like in the last 80 years, I think the US dollar has lost 70% of its value. It's insane.
Okay, so but let's be really clear then. So because it's lost 70%, it can only lose another 30, right?
No, that's not how it works. Over the last couple of, I think about
That's
100.
what some people think.
Yeah.
So so what does it mean? Let's say it goes from here to here.
It means that it's 70% more expensive to buy a house. It means that the chocolate you're buying is 70% more expensive. It literally means your purchasing power, it is not where it's supposed to be.
But can it fall further?
Yeah, of course. So if it falls from $100 to $50, let's say,
Yes.
Then if it falls another 50%, that's down to 25, and another 50%, 12.5.
So basically, just to be very clear, even if something drops 70%, it can still drop another 70% from where it is.
Yeah, and then another 70%, and then another 70%,
keep going.
and keep going. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not just like it drops 70 and now it's only got 30 to go.
Yeah.
Some people do think that, by the way. I just wanted to be really clear about that. So the real risk isn't really investing; it's doing nothing because of debasement and
Once again, depends on the goals, right, that people have. I don't mind, and the people don't either, I suppose. But it is, if you want something more, you need to do something different. I say,
But it's not just more, Dennis. There's a real danger, is there not? Because of artificial intelligence,
yeah, of course.
inflation, and the debasement of money. We are being attacked from 5 sides now.
Yeah, that is very true.
And you can't defend yourself against, you can maybe defend yourself against 2, but if the other 3 are behind you, you have a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Everyone.
What I'm saying now, I'm actually saying now that it used to be great to have the second pillar that you talked about.
Now it's a must.
Stabilized. Now it's a must.
I play a video all the time, and you know the video as well about inflation. And we say that all the time, that nowadays you have to do this. Most people approach retirement and realize, and that's the people approaching retirement now. They have to sell their house. They can't afford it, and it's too late to make anything about it. And the other risk, as you're saying, with new people now, with us growing up, it's the AI and everything else that is coming. So we need to get a really thick armor around us, which we can do, and this is the easiest way.
You said it's too late, but remember we had Henry, who started with his 70s, and he turned 5,000 into what?
Over 100,000 relatively quickly, and then up to 400,000, I think, as well.
460,000.
Yeah.
He's verging on the 500,000. We're hoping that at the next meeting we can give him that trophy for his half of
Absolutely.
Absolutely fantastic. So fear fades, knowledge overcomes power. So education, action, starting small. People think that they are, it's like, now I have to put all my money in. Who said that? Like, who said that?
Yeah.
Just start with small. You can start with £50, £100, but start. Yeah. What do you think about that?
No, I absolutely agree. I think for me, I can relate to when I started. So I lost 70% in my first year. Then when I started, I learned with investment mastery. And then in my first year of really doing this properly, I made like £160 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, just because I had no money left, right? And I could have given up, like there's no point. But now, fast forward, I've made, more than $1 million if I, from 2016 till now. So I just know for a fact that if you start to do it, you think it's fun, you start adding more money, and then it compounds. So yes, I am a living example that starting small works, and that it will be incredible over a couple of years. It's shorter than everyone thinks, but also longer. What I mean by that is everyone gets rich tomorrow. But I thought, when this happened to me, I lost everything. I made £160. I never thought I would make $1 million. But now I have a few years later. So I am further than I thought I would be, but I thought it would go faster. If you see what I mean.
No, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, and but what people don't realize, of course, is that they go, "Oh, he's made $1 million," but fast forward, right? That million can turn to 6 million, maybe even more in that same period of time going forward.
Of course it will. It's going to turn to a lot more because it's compounding. And now I have the mindset for it. And now when I double $1 million, it's 2, and then 4, then 8, then 16. It goes faster and faster.
You just said, you didn't say I have the skill. I have the mindset for it. So are you saying, that's really interesting. Why didn't you say now I know what I'm doing? Like I have the skill. You said I have the mindset for it.
Oh, because, it's 2 things, I suppose. The skill, yes, I have. But the skill, it's relatively easy. But now I can think bigger. I think that's the main thing. I put more money into the opportunities, and I also use other people's money to make it happen in different ways. So it just goes quicker because I'm now more open to other types of opportunities and thinking bigger. So it's not only the skill, it's also, of course, the mindset of attracting more in that way and taking those actions.
What do you think is the biggest obstacle to most people creating wealth? I mean, one of them we discussed here is being in their comfort zone and not daring to go outside, even though everything they want is outside their comfort zone.
Yeah.
You're at a bar, you see somebody nice, and you want to go up, but want to stay in the. So, but is it that? Is it other things? What is?
I think it's a lot of things. I think it's definitely environment, as we spoke about. If you have the right people, I think if you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, you'll be number 6. If you surround yourself with 5 people that are broke, you will be number 6, maybe very likely, right? And that's one thing. Second thing is definitely lack of education. And that's definitely one thing. The society we have is not built for making you rich necessarily if you don't do the right things.
But from a
Yeah.
mindset point of view, what is keeping people where they are?
Fear, I suppose, fear of failure. Also society and environment, I think, are two big things there. But fear of failure, I think, is the biggest one.
Fear of failure.
Yeah.
Why are people so scared of failure if failure is something you learn from?
So I don't know. I'm thinking school. I mean, I tried to. I mean, I was afraid of getting things wrong in school. Because we were competing and get the best
Well, they turn
grades.
you off as well. And then
Yeah.
when you have your notes back, there's lots of red ink crossing. They rarely tell you what the right. They just go -1, -1. You're
And
always
there's-
wrong, wrong, wrong.
Yeah, there's no flexibility. Yeah, you did that wrong, you did that wrong, but also you need to follow the system. And if you go out of the system, that's wrong. You can't. You get 0 points and you are out of it. And what we're doing is going out of the system a little bit, right? This is going against. So I think, yeah, when you're growing up, you're afraid of getting things wrong. And then, of course, if you do get things wrong, people laugh at you because, we're in a class and you need to raise your hand and everyone else is quiet. It's a kind of a weird environment.
Yeah.
It's not very friendly in that way.
If you kind of like when you were talking, I was thinking, but you almost have to be a maverick. You have to be different to be like doing things that other people don't do to get the results that they don't get. But we want to get it into every household. So how are we going to do that if most people are like, no thanks?
I mean, personally, I would love to go out to the right kind of schools as well. But yeah, I think we're on the right track. We need to demystify it. It is not hard. We need to use a simple language and just build a community. We need to really build a
I
community.
think that's what we're in the process of doing, building
Yeah.
that community, and then really go out from there. Do you think that most people just crave certainty?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a big part.
But I have certainty,
Mhm.
and I'm in the market. I have certainty that when it goes down with the strategy, it will go back up. Eventually, I don't know when. So I actually have certainty. Isn't that strange?
Yeah, it is, but that's because you're educated.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you have experience now as well.
yeah.
But in the beginning, when you started, once upon a time, I'm sure there were not a lot of certainty.
I didn't know what I was doing. I don't know what the people teaching me were thinking, honestly. What do you think? Fear of losing, is that stronger than the desire to win?
Yes, 100%.
So let's say that again. The fear of losing is stronger than the desire to win. Wow. Okay, well, what can we do about that?
That's a deep one. Yeah, education, getting the right people around. And I really thought that I made a lot of mistakes in my life, obviously, but I made some mistakes, here as well. And every time I thought, for example, that I was going to be told off, like by you, and get disciplined in a way, right? It then never happened. Instead, it was kind of love and okay, what can we learn from this? How do we move on? It was a lot of support instead. But I think the fear, I had fear when I came here because of that. Because in my life, I was used to when I got things wrong, then I got told off in a way.
But that's the first time you told me that. So you're saying
Yeah.
that some people might be fearful to do things wrong and be told off.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
And I got taught here that that's not the case. It's okay to make mistakes.
That's how you learn.
Well, yes, exactly. But yeah, I agree. But I don't know. That's
So
something- yeah.
you're
Like-
almost kind of, I never thought of that. Maybe that's something we need to talk about in our introductory masterclasses, because if people went to school and they got a lot of this
Mhm.
and they can't wait to stop, most people can't wait to stop school, and most people don't want to go to university because they're sick of this.
Yeah.
And then they come to us, they want to learn, but actually they don't because they think they're going to get this again.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it just goes on in school, right? You fail your test. That's the first step. And then you get told off by your teacher. And then, of course, you have a thing with your parents. Then you get told off by your parents. And then you look funny in front of your friends because all of them passed it, of course, but you didn't, maybe, right? So it's just all these levels of, and the only way you're measured in school is if you follow the system and if you study hard, you get it right.
Well, if you follow our system and you study hard, you get it right as well. So they're
Yeah.
not wrong. Okay, let's have a look
There's-
at this. The importance of imperfect action. I'm going to do inaction first, right? Inaction. So what it looks like, waiting for the right time, over analyzing, fearing loss, and the outcome is building regret, definitely over the long term, missed opportunities and frustration. Oh, I don't wish that on anybody. What would you say is the opposite? What's imperfect action? I love that.
I think what I've learned, right, in investing, I suppose you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you need to find something with a high probability, the strategies we use, great example, where you just follow the system. And you don't care if you're buying at the low or you're selling at the high, because a lot of people want to do that. When I buy at the absolute lowest point, I sell at the absolute peak. It's just a fool's errand because no one knows. So I think the key here is to just get a strategy that really works and then follow that. And you said it best. Because if you're trying to always time to buy at the low and sell at the high, and then you let the markets consume you and it becomes your life in a way, for many, for the wrong reasons, and you get stressed out. But if you, and you said it, I think you said that trading and investing should be a tool to enhance your life. And that's exactly what it should be. You should literally have everything set up. You should know what to do before everything happens. And in that way, I think you take all the emotions out of it. So I think this fear you're talking about, the overanalyzing, is lack of rules. Because in trading and investing or the markets, it's one of the few things we do in life where there's zero rules. You can literally buy, sell whatever you want, however you want. You can go long, short, make money up or down. You can buy any asset. It's 24/7.
Yeah.
And the only person that's going to hold you accountable is yourself.
So it is scary then. They just basically allow anybody to go on, put some money in and press buttons.
Yeah, and you're competing with the world champions, all
And
with no experience.
the brokers, they don't teach you anything.
Yeah.
They just want, in a way, I hate to say this, but they do want you to, trade in, out, so that they make money. Lose all your money, you put another 5,000 in, and off we go again.
Well, yeah, but many brokers do want you to stay forever because they make money based on the fees.
You
predominantly.
think so.
Yeah, but
That would be smart. That would be very smart. And I spoke to somebody who's setting up a broker right now, and he actually wants us to do that because he I thought at last, 2025 at last, somebody sees that actually longevity over the long term would be much better to do that. Yeah. I think the phrase that I say is trading. Life is not about trading and investing.
That's one.
Trading and investing is just a vehicle to get you from where you are now to wherever you want to go. So imperfect action, I think, beats inaction every single time. So what are some reasons to start now then?
The reasons to start is you have to. It's very simple. These days there's no other way. You can, of course, just let time go past, and you will wake up one day and realize it is too late. That will happen. We know it will happen, right? It already happens to people that are reaching their pension and have, let's say, the middle class, right? Or all of them. This is happening to most. I don't know all, but a lot. So I think you have to these days to really keep the quality or enhance the quality of your life as you go. So I think there's no other way. I think you just have to.
I think the other thing is that you can really learn as you go, because you don't have to put. I don't know why people think that. They think they put all their life savings in and lose it all. Who said that? Start off with £100. You can start on a demo account, no money.
Yeah, you can start a demo account and you don't need to do it full time. You can start with 30 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, or an hour a day. It doesn't need to be long. Instead of watching Netflix, which everyone does, it's one of the biggest companies in the world, so we know a lot of people watches it. Or even, watch TV, or I'm too tired, all these things. Just do 20 minutes a day. Put a timer on.
And here's another myth. Another myth is that they think that the market needs to be open. And they say, well, I'm working. Why does the market need to be open? They're like,
today you can put orders in.
You can put orders in, and then whenever it reaches that price, then the broker takes you in. You don't even have to be around. There's so many myths out there.
Yeah, it's misinformation. That's exactly. But they are learning Pythagoras' theory, so it's...
Was it theorem? It might be Pythagoras' theorem. Therem. Could be. And by the way, opportunities are everywhere. People always say that I've missed out on opportunity, but they're always there. There's always a bull market somewhere.
Yeah, always a bull market somewhere. And the other thing is, maybe there's not an opportunity right now, but there will be in a few months. You don't need to be in the market all the time. That's the other thing. What's going to make you a lot of money in investing is patience and waiting.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah. So we can take an example. Bitcoin went from 1,000 to 20,000, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you didn't do anything. But then if you waited another year, it went down to 3,000 again. So then you could have taken action at any point over there, right? Because then it went to 67,000. Well, if you didn't do that, great. Then it went down to 17,000 again. So at any point you could have. So even though you might not be in the market for the next 3 months, that is okay. Prepare for it.
It's good.
And then when it's ready, then you start.
I'll tell you, there's some truth bombs being exploded left, right, and center. It's so true. It's so true. And the good thing is that, you know, the government, not necessarily the current one, but the governments, they're allowing you to wrap up like up to 20,000 in an ISA, so you pay zero tax. There's a SIP, self-invested personal pension. You don't pay any tax on that. In fact, the government will subsidize part of it. Then there's SASs, there's spread betting. There's 4 ways that you don't actually have to pay tax as well. And the bottom line is your future self, which will happen, it will thank you for acting now, you know.
Yeah, it's a must these days. Everyone have to do it.
You know, you said, you know, when you started and, you know, you were down and then I think you restarted again with 4,000 or something like that. And you're up to what, over 1.5 million, something like that. Do you kind of think, is that a lot? Is that not a lot? Are you happy, disappointed?
I'm very happy. If I would look back in 2016 and look where I am now, I would be very happy.
Yes.
But so I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful, and I feel great about it. But I'm very impatient. And I have urgency to reach more.
But now it's
now it's compound. Yeah. So do I think 1 million is a lot today? Not really.
No.
I thought so 6 years ago, of course. But you grow. Like when I was 5, I thought £5 was a lot, right?
That is true.
My mom, I remember she gave me £5. I bought candy for all of it. And she gave me the,
I think we've all done that.
I've never seen so much money in my life. But
And it was gone.
yeah, there we go. Yeah, well, there's that. But nevertheless, now I've grown, right? And since I'm doing this, I've been doing this for years, I just know that it is just numbers and percentages, really. So, but no, I'm really grateful and thankful. But I'm grown. I'm aiming higher now, just so I can do more, help more, and be more.
Okay, and just imagine this. Let's juxtapose that and compare it to somebody who waits for 2016, did nothing, and they're still where they are now, and their money is worth less because of the devaluation, and everything's more expensive because of inflation. Can you imagine that? They don't have 1.5 million. That happens to 99% of the population.
Yeah, no, I can. And then at some point, which happens all the time as well, they think, now I'm going to start, and then they jump into a scam and they lose everything they've saved. Even worse, right? That happens to so many people, which is why it's so important you actually learn this right away. And I mean, if you're not, just join our community or something at least, so you can ask questions. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is, which is why we're here, because we want to make sure we spread the right information.
Maybe this sounds too good to be true, but to some people.
Well, maybe, but the thing is, they have to do the work. We're not saying that do this and you will make money forever. We're saying 8% a year if you do minimal, because that's what the market has given us. I mean, go and look at the Dow Jones. That is exactly the average. And the same with if we put a bit more time in, but it's long term. This is over a long time. I'm not saying I made 1 million in 2 months. It's over from 2016 as an example. So we just need to learn the right way. And if we were a scam, we would now have a QR code where they can send all their money, and they would get 5 times the amount back.
Yeah, well, that's right. And then when they try and get their money back, they can't get it, right? Because that was a scam. But again, it took all that time to get to 1.5. But what I got to finish that sentence, say ... and in the next 2 years, it's likely to double.
Well, I mean, I do keep what happened to Warren Buffett, right? In the last 2 years of his 80-year-long trading career, he made more money in those 2 years than the previous 80 years together, or something like that combined.
Yeah.
Because compounding.
That's a bit longer than 2 years. But you're right. It's that compound.
Yeah.
Like I think it was 50 billion. But it took all this time to make it first 50 billion. If people really understood, this is again, education, knowledge is so important. Once you have it, you'll be kicking yourself. You didn't do this earlier, but then you can teach your children.
Yeah.
Stop the rot in the family.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And you're teaching your wife.
Yeah, my wife, my family, and everyone. Absolutely, my cats. They're learning as well.
Amazing.
So I think that's the greatest gift you can do as a parent. Teach your
Cats.
cats. No, Fine. No, teach your children the right way of doing it to manage their money and grow their money. They never need to worry about money in their entire life.
How amazing. You know, on the workshops, when you see the kids, right,
Oh.
on there, and you just know, right, that if they just carry on this journey,
Yeah.
they don't even know what they're doing right there and then, but they don't, because they don't really think.
It's a video game for many. Well, if they're above 10, 11, maybe it's a video game. Like, it's a,
Absolutely,
yeah.
which is kind of what it is, really.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're still wondering if it's an all-time high, now you said, because Bitcoin just reached its all-time high again, right? Even though everyone is dead, it's dead, it's dead. Get educated, please. Not educated as in, but yeah, learn about this stuff. But then there was a crash, which is really interesting, right? Because, people go, but where? I can't get in. Well, there you go. There it is. I wonder whether they got in. Because I did. I bought some more yesterday.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Not Bitcoin. I bought something else, but.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I did too. No, I mean, the thing is, we could always say that. I mean, if you look at the chart of Bitcoin, it's gone from 30 cents to 100,000. People are going to ask the question, is it the right time when it's at 1 million or 2 million or 3 million, maybe. And the same with the stock market as well. So the best time to start is now. It always has been. I think Tony Robbins said that, right? When is now the best time?
When is now the best time?
Yeah. So, and start small. I mean, I started in 2017, 16, I think. No, 2017, I think, just when Bitcoin went from 15,000 to 20,000. So I was part of that up at this last one. But then I invested, as per the instructions of the strategy, all the way down from 20,000 down to 3,000. But it was thanks to me investing from that point, even though it sucked during the time, thanks to that, I over 10x'd my portfolio in the next rally higher, even though it was 2 years later.
Yeah.
But if I wouldn't have started, then that would have never have happened. So there's always the best time.
Yeah, absolutely. Never a better time. Never a better time, especially with all the technology that's out there. I never had any of that. So if people are watching, listening to this on the podcast, if you are finally ready to stop making excuses, you can register today for our free 1-day crypto masterclass. I mean, this one here is even better because we're doing something a little bit different, which is it's going to be not a whole day. And people are like, oh, come on, I don't need that. Okay, you're going to get the same amount of information, slightly reconfigured it, between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m., which means it's half a day, and then you go and get your lunch, which I think might be very popular indeed. So October the 25th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Link in the description below. So that's a free event where I will personally be teaching the strategies that made me over $14 million and counting, actually. It's probably a little bit more by now. Okay, final thoughts. Comfort feels safe, but it keeps you stuck.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it comes down to that again, right? I think, for me, life is all about growth in any way, right? So it could be health, could be relationship-wise. I think that's where I'm thriving the most, at least. And meeting new friends, new people, and growing my, the community and relationships. And of course, getting more money as well, so you can do more, have more fun, and even help more people. So, I mean, that's where it's all for me. The comfort zone is definitely my biggest enemy in many ways because, so it's not getting me anywhere.
You know what they say? The comfort zone is where your dreams go to die.
Yeah, that's intense.
Well, you only have one life.
Yeah.
And so why not live it? Yeah. So small steps, but it's the first step. And that's it. Just take the 4th step. Once you've got momentum, the chances are you'll keep going.
Yeah. And the easiest way to get into your right community, right people around you, they're going to push you forward even though you don't want to yourself.
Absolutely. Well, I hope you enjoyed this Lunchtime Investor. And we always leave it by saying, and here's a perfect example, never quit, because if they can do it,
you can do it too.